supposed to have a very rainy day today, but I just wanted you to look at that gorgeous, gorgeous sunrise. Yep. Just beautiful. It is good to be alive. Sometimes life is difficult, and pretty much every day life is painful. But sometimes the sunrises and the sunsets are so much worth the pain of life. Now, I know this is not exciting for most people, but I honestly do like polishing and waxing. I think because it's something that you don't have to commit a lot of brain power to, and you can just enjoy the day and make a difference on something. So this is the passenger side, the left side of the bike. I have to do the saddlebag, and then this side will be done, except for the front wheel. I haven't done the front wheel, and I haven't done the rear wheel. I'll tell you, it's almost beyond my ability to bring them back. The rear wheel is just awful looking, awful. So it is just cruddy, cruddy, cruddy. So I may skip the rear wheel for now. It's gonna take a whole lot of elbow grease that I don't have right now. And I think I can do the front wheel by the time the day is out. So here's the left side of the bike. And maybe you can see the difference. Here's the right side of the bike. Nothing shiny yet. Although that is waxed, the little side plate there. And the fuel tank everything up here is waxed, the fairing's waxed, the forks are polished and waxed, the lower fairings. So I have to do the top of the valve covers, and the pipe, the breather, all the little chrome here, the pipes, that little bit of chrome there, and the two little pieces of chrome that go up underneath the trunk. So I'm getting there, and I will have this done today, except for the back wheel. Who knows, maybe I'll find a second wind before I put the saddlebags back on. I'll tell you the truth, you can't even see them when the saddlebags are on, because the saddlebags are right here. So that's how much of the bike, of the tires you can see. But I will know that rear wheel is cruddy, cruddy, cruddy. And I'll be driving down the road feeling like I'm a sham. And people will look at my bike saying, "Oh, what a shiny bike." And in my head, I'll be saying, "Yeah, but I got a dirty little secret, and it's back there." Anyway, let me get back to polishing and waxing. Well, for some reason. All right, there we go. Yeah, just thought I'd talk a little bit. And I want to tell you about this very odd encounter I had. Here in Wascom, there is a pizza place in a mobile trailer called Doughboy's Pizza. And I was going to order a pizza for my wife and I for the second time. Last year we watched the Super Bowl. We were going to do it up. We were going to have a pizza. I was going to get off my diet and just eat junk that's not good for me. You know, that's not good for the diet. So I was going to order a pizza. I get on Doughboy Pizza's website, and I spec my pizza. Basically, it was going to be a buffalo ranch pizza with a couple of extra spices, and it came to about $20. So I go to checkout, get my credit card out, and I go to the checkout, and all of a sudden my pizza, my $20 pizza, has had a $4 charge added to it. So I get to looking at the tally, and this sumbitch has added a tip. I'm going to pick my pizza up. He's added a tip to my total. And I was looking, I was thinking, this can't be right. This got to be a mistake. And I looked and looked and looked, and sure enough, over here in the bottom, little tiny print. You have to really blow it up on your phone to read that it's just, if you want to help the team, I think that was the wording. And I canceled my order. I just could not believe it. How? How is that right? So anyway, I went to his Facebook page and I said, on what freaking planet is it acceptable to just arbitrarily add a tip to somebody's bill? And when they're coming to pick the pizza up, I have never heard of such a thing. So his reply was, well, Pizza Hut does it. I said, so using your twisted logic, if Pizza Hut suddenly demands that people sweep the parking lot before they'll give them their pizza, you're going to do that? I mean, that's like 5-year-old logic. Jimmy did it, Bobby did it. So anyway, we had a little discussion back and forth. And I told him how incredibly dishonest it was sticking fees on people's final checkout without their knowledge. I mean, most people, not most people, but there's a lot of people who are in a hurry, and they may not realize that an extra fee has been tacked onto their tally, their total, and just go ahead and pay it. Now, I'm all for, tips, when it's my choice. But for somebody to just add automatically a tip, have you ever tipped Domino's? I'm not talking about delivery people now. I'm talking about when you go and pick up a pizza. Do you ever tip the people in the back? No, they're not making minimum. I mean, they're not making a salary that requires tips to supplement their income. So anyway, I said something to the guy. I said, it's just completely dishonest. And I just don't understand how you can justify that. Anyway, we had a few more back and forth comments. And let me give you a little more intel or insight into this guy's personality and character. Somebody was coming up at night and getting a couple of gallons of water from a faucet outside of his place there. And eventually people were able to identify the guy, and it turns out, he may be a ne'er-do-well around here, and he didn't have access to water. So this guy sets up cameras and then puts a big thing on Facebook and makes a big deal about some poor sap getting a couple gallons of his water instead of maybe, if you want to be a decent guy, maybe finding out what it is that's making him come steal your water and provide a solution. I mean, he's expecting the community to keep him in business here. Why not help the community out a little bit? Why not provide a little goodwill? You're sticking people with tips that they're unaware of. How about going to the other end of that spectrum and being a stand-up guy and helping some people out? So anyway, that's what I said to him. I kind of suspected I knew your type when you put all that time and effort into finding out who it was with your cameras, very expensive cameras, and posting it all over Facebook and embarrassing the guy. And then, not only that, going to the police, for a few gallons of water. So that's a real indication into his psyche. And he didn't like that. So he removed his main comment, his first reply to me. And if you can't intellectually hold an intelligent conversation, I expected this from the guy, because just based on things he said and his attitude towards trying to cheat people out of a few more dollars on every bill. And this is online. I doubt they do this in person. I doubt they get away with doing that when you go up there, just order pizza at the window, you know. I don't think they would get away with that. So I've been sitting here thinking about people this morning, and the amount of effort and time this guy put into finding out who was getting a couple of gallons of water a couple times a week, and instead of just, you know, what does a couple of gallons of water cost? 10 cents? Anyway, he justified it. Well, he left my hose unhooked. Okay, so you're gonna deny another human access to water because you don't like the fact that they left your hose unhooked. I get it. Boy, I'll tell you, people suck. And when you're down, there is no limit to the amount of MFers that will line up and kick you. And that guy's one of them. Doughboy Pizza in Wascom, Texas. So I went back and I left one comment. I said, yep, that is exactly what I expected from you. You just removed the conversation, so because you couldn't justify what you were doing to people. And that's the bottom line. Now this is just the, this is not wax. This is a polishing compound. It just basically removes water stains and all the other crap that you don't want on your paint. Now, I put the wax on, as soon as I get all this off. But it's hard to get off, because once it dries, boy, you almost gotta rub it off immediately the second you put it on. And I got to thinking about the division in people. You have people like him who wouldn't dream of helping somebody out. And then you have people, I'm not going to say like me, but I've been going through this lately. Since I'm not working anymore, I feel a void in my life. Like I'm not contributing enough to society, and I'm looking for ways where I can be an asset. And I've started up with a Patriot Guard, and that is a good feeling. And it's a service to a lot of people who are grieving, and I feel really good about it. So, you know, I'm kind of putting my head together and trying to just, is there some other way that I can be of use to people? And you know, that's where I'm at now, thinking wise. There's not much I can do work wise. I'm severely limited. I'm not going to go into details, but some days I can do stuff and some days I can't. And I have a lot of broken parts of my body that I have to work around. All right, now the wax. So, where's the waxinator? There we go. And things that I can do, and areas that I can be a help or an asset or a put back into the pot kind of guy. That's what I want to do. And, you know, I'm always looking for ways to do that. And then you have that guy who a simple thing like a couple gallons of water that makes somebody's life a little easier to get through. And from what I'm reading, you know, the guy's got drug problems, and you know, if a couple of gallons of water will help make his life a little bit better, why on earth could you just not let the guy have a couple of gallons of water, turn your head, and not embarrass him on a Facebook page for an entire town? And that's the difference in people. And the sad thing is, that guy's got 2 trailers. And oh, my comment to him was, if you paid your people a livable wage, you wouldn't have to cheat folks at checkout out of a fake tip. And I didn't actually say this to him, but how do we know if people are actually tipping? How do we know? Seeing how we know what his character is, you know, he can't even give a guy a couple gallons of water. How do we know he's actually giving that additional money to the people that work for him? How do they know how much people are tipping? There's no way. He's not showing them his receipts at the end of the night, I promise you. So people have to basically trust that he's an honest man with integrity, which we already know he's not, because he's overly concerned with somebody getting a couple of gallons of water from him. And not just that, but went and put cameras up to catch the guy. So his character is already there for people that, you know, look. And it made him mad enough to remove the whole conversation that him and I had. It's a shame. It's a sad, sad shame that people are so selfish. And I think part of the reason that I have been questioning my value to the planet, I know that sounds weird, but as a truck driver, I always felt like I was providing a service, like I was putting in, like I deserved to be on this earth because I was giving more than I was taking. And since I'm retired, I haven't had that feeling, and it's a feeling that I miss. You know, a reason for your existence. And having become part of the Patriot Guard has helped to give me a little bit of that feeling back. And other things. When I contribute to a GoFundMe or, you know, help somebody, I don't like announce it on my YouTube channel, but I'm saying that there are times when I have been able to help people and felt good about it, but not often enough like it did every day when I was driving a truck. I felt like my existence was justified because I was helping. Boy, I tell you, this is in all honesty, it's not a good paint job. There are, where you can't see, there are drips and runs, and you know, a painter with integrity wouldn't have let that out of his shop. But where you can see, it's a really beautiful paint, and nice pinstriping and all that. But in areas that you can't see, it's you know, he let stuff go that a painter with real integrity wouldn't have. I'm gonna spend a little more time right here. It's got a scratch, and I'm gonna see if I can polish some of that out. You probably can't see that. Right here. That ought to rub right out. How many times have you heard that? Nah, didn't help. There's some wax. Give that a second to dry right there. And damn it, oh no, that's a rock peck. I thought it was bug guts. So there you go. I've been sitting here thinking about that, and that's kind of why I like waxing. It gives you time to sit and think about your life and what you want to do with it, what direction you want to go with it. All right, let me leave that there for a minute. Now I'm gonna go down the other side of the motorcycle. I guess I can bring you with me. Be right back. I don't know why that thing won't cut off while it's in the, maybe I got it squeezed too hard. Well, let's see here. It is raining. Raining like crazy. Well, it's not too bad right now, but it has been off and on. Raining pretty hard. This thing, I tell you, it is right on the verge of almost being too late to take care of because there's rust. You can tell. You know, if you take care of something, you can have it your whole life. But I think some people get too used to, I don't know, having the means to buy things. I had to make some sacrifices to buy this. I had to get rid of my John Deere, and you know, I had to make some other changes in my purchasing to afford this. And I think being poor makes me appreciate having, you know, the things I'm able to have. And some might look at this and say, well, you can't be poor if you can afford that. Well, you know, I guess poor is subjective depending on who's saying they're poor. The person who had this, I wouldn't say they were poor, because if they were poor, they would have taken much better care of this, knowing that the likelihood of being able to buy another one is slim to none. All right, now I'm going to do the, oh, that's nice. So I've decided I'm not going to do the wheel. That back wheel is going to be someday when that's all I'm going to do. This is just four steel wool, and what I'm doing is rubbing all the water spots and tar and stuff like that off. And then I will come back with some chrome polish, and what a difference it'll make. Somebody in a comment the other day when I kind of ranted about the post office, you know, I got the impression that they work for the post office. And I want to say, I know there are good people that work for the post office. So let me say that. I have had nothing but trouble with the post office. And it's always something, always something. From the person that delivers the mail. And anyway, I want to go back. If y'all have been with me a while, you know the kind of trouble I've had with the post office. So let me say that I know that there are good people that work for the post office. And when I complain about the post office, I'm not complaining about every single person that works there. I'm just complaining about the practices that make them the laughing stock of America, I think. There's got to be companies that look at how the post office operates and just shake their head at how they can put people in positions of authority and training that don't even know that New Zealand is a country and not a state, and then argue with somebody when they try to tell you that it's a country and not a state. That was just one of my many, many, many head-scratching interactions with the post office. Not to mention all the times that they have just given me a hard time because they didn't want to do their job. And they would just make rules up as they go along. If they didn't want to ship something, they would say, well, you can't use that kind of tape. Or you can't use red magic marker in your address. I mean, it just never ends with the post office. But I know there's good people that work for the post office. You may have had bad encounters with truck drivers, but by and large, most truck drivers care about your life and your health and don't want to hurt you and put a lot of effort into driving safely. And there are those that don't. So it's the same thing. I understand. And, when somebody complains about something you've put your life into, post office, it probably hurts. So I'm sorry to the people who do a good job at the post office. You are not the people I'm talking about. I think I moved you. Boy, this bike has a whole lot more parts than my old Road King did. I forgot what he told me. These are Reinhardt pipes and Vance and Hines head pipes. It's got a really good sound. Not so loud that you sound like an idiot looking for attention, but a really nice rumble. Yeah, I had a discussion with somebody. I get into a lot of discussions. It was a comment somebody made about CBs. There was a pile up on the interstate, right? And somebody said, well, if they had their CB on, they wouldn't know, and blah, 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 blah. CBs save lives. And I said, bullshit. There's nothing on CB now except mental midgets, sexual deviants, prostitutes, people selling drugs, people buying drugs. And in the event there was an emergency, you couldn't talk because all those people have the airwaves plugged up. It's a useless piece of equipment in a truck now. And saying that somehow people are safer with a CB is just wrong. It's not true at all. All right, I'm gonna chrome polish this bit back here. And move forward to the engine. It just dawned on me, I'm kind of opinionated. Do you think? And my argument was saying CB saves lives is just as silly as saying loud pipes save lives. What saves lives is paying attention. If you have to have a CB on for you to know what the road conditions are like, then find another job. Because depending on other people to tell you what a safe speed is and where there might be ice, and you not knowing that, instead of figuring stuff out on your own, depending on other people to tell you, yeah, you're in the wrong job. You need to develop your own skills to determine what speed you should be going and where, slowing down is warranted. I got tar back here I'm gonna try to get off. Come on. Boy, that's stubborn. Big chunk of tar. So anyway, I'm not the internet's favorite person because I kind of say what I think. And when bullshit is bullshit, I say bullshit. Saying CBs save lives is bullshit. It's nice to have a CB if there's someone you want to talk to. But I promise you, if you're having a conversation, and it's a nice conversation with somebody who's interesting, someone will come along and try to prevent you from having that conversation. Because the CB is filled with idiots. Noise toys. If you don't know what they are, you're probably lucky. It's just these toys that some people have built into their CB so they can annoy folks with them. And then you have those that have linears, which, linear's okay, but you have people that will run back to back, right? Truck to truck, and have 200, 300, 400 watt linears talking to the guy right in front of them. That means so anybody within 20 miles can't get a word in, can't use the CB. And then there's the woman thing. If you're a woman truck driver and you have a CB on, if you thought you got a fair shake in life, that times have changed and men accept you in a typically male dominated business, don't listen to the CB because it will break your heart. I've always said that it's the weakest men that have to resort to insulting women for what they say is taking a man's job. Yeah. All right. These are all thoughts in my head. I'm just letting them out. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm just talking out loud here. Little observations I've made throughout life. That's one of the things I do like about polishing is you can sort of focus on one thing and let your hands do the work, and then let your brain do some other work. Now, some people might not try to polish where nobody can see, but part of the polishing process, part of the reason is to prevent rust. And it also helps stuff that you don't want on your pipes or on your chrome from sticking. Raining hard now. I don't know if you can hear it on the roof or not. It was very comforting to have electricity the other day when the entire town was out. Still don't know why there was an outage. Still don't know. I'm gonna pay for this tomorrow. Alrighty, so now, yeah, you probably can't see this. There's something right here that's, okay, it already come off. Just needed to rub a little harder. Now the engine and all the little components that I can get to. Let me back you up a little bit so I can see what you're looking at. Let's see here. We'll get it just a minute. I think that's all right. Alright, I'm just polishing off water spots and tar. And then I'm going to come back with the chrome polish. And that puts a very thin protective layer on it. And it doesn't burn off when the pipes get hot. Some people use wax, but it don't take long for that wax to disappear. And I don't know this, but I suspect that eventually it harms your chrome or dulls it or yellows it. I don't know that to be true, but I suspect. It's supposed to rain all day today. I've already done these, and from there forward, that's looking good. Hard to get into some of these little areas. Valve cover, and I think I'm going to start hitting it with a wax polish. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, really raining. I don't know if you can hear it. Not with me talking anyway. Good Lord. So I have made a couple of decisions. I've said this before, so I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but I spent the first half of my life, doing really bad stuff to my body. Some of it was cigarettes, and some of it was a little more than cigarettes. And I suspect that the stuff I've done has probably, plus my weight, has probably significantly reduced my reasonable expectation of longevity. And I'm not unhappy about that, but you have to be a realist. And I decided that I just don't want to spend my last days, however many that may be, worried about having enough food, worried about the economy, worried about Mr. Potato Head being our president, the potential for war. It just never ends. The amount of worry. If you wanted to, you could worry 24/7. Or you could not worry 24/7. And I am trying very, very hard to adopt that. I don't watch near the news I used to. I mean, I'm not ignorant of what's going on, but I don't want to dwell on it. And I want to enjoy the days that I have left without worry. I want to be of some help to my fellow man. I want to put into the pot instead of taking out. And I just want to feel better towards my fellow man. Don't get me wrong, I still carry my gun everywhere I go. But you can get cynical very, very quickly. And I've decided that instead of expecting the worst out of people, which it's a easy trap to fall into as you get older, because life is full of reasons to make you distrustful of people. And, I'm not immune to that. And I woke up and I found myself feeling like I just couldn't trust people and having dislike in my heart for people I didn't even know. So I realized that I was going to have to really make some changes if I wanted to be happy, because it was affecting my ability to be happy. So I have stopped watching nearly all the news. I have unsubscribed from the gloom and doomer solar battery pack people. You know who I'm talking about. And there's just a couple that I still subscribe to just because they have good information. And I'm just going to stop worrying about tomorrow and worry about today. I'm going to enjoy my next breath, and that's the extent of my forethought. Now, don't get me wrong, I still am a prepared person, and I don't want to be caught hungry and cold and defenseless, if you know what I mean. But I'm not going to dwell on it, and I'm not going to go out of my way to find sources that make me worry. And I'm going to search very hard to find the good in people instead of the bad in people. Because I'm tired of feeling like this. And when you start feeling like that, it's sort of like a slippery slope. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and you have less and less and less trust and faith in your fellow man. And that's a horrible way to live. Man, oh man, oh man. Alrighty. Always hard to get into some of these areas with big fat hands. Come on. I think the lady who owned this bike before me, it was a woman, I think she liked to really crank her music because these speakers are blown, which I don't care because I don't really listen to that much music anymore. I enjoy the voices in my head. Okay, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get up. Give me just a second. Shines like new money. All right, now I'm gonna put a coat of wax on the other side box. That there. Put it all back together, and I'm gonna sit on the floor and I'm gonna do that front wheel. I'm not gonna take it off. I'm gonna try to do the front wheel with just trying to reach in there and clean it up. So, boy, does that thing shine, huh? All right, let me get these waxed up and put back on. Okay, I have polished the crap out of this, and I didn't take it off, and it was really difficult to get my big hands into all them little nooks and crannies, but I got chrome polish. First, I had to take steel wool and alcohol and melt off all the old adhesive from where the wheel weights were before, which actually you can see a little bit of adhesive right there that I wasn't able to get my fingers into, and it was on both sides, so that was a lot of work. So I used 90% alcohol and some probably 2/0 steel wool, not 4/0. Actually, it was probably 0. So now I've got chrome polish on everything, and I'm gonna let it dry. I'm gonna buff it off, and I think this thing's gonna look like a brand new rim. A lot of work, but it was worth it. Okay, see you in a bit. This was a load of work. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. I still have some more to rub off on this side, but in here. But almost done. What a difference. All right. Motorcycle is done. I had no idea there was this much shine on that. Complicated wheel. Whole lot of little nooks and crannies. But now that it's done, it'll be a little easier to do. And I know it can be done on the bike. I don't have to take it off. So there we go. That's a good feeling to have it completely brought back to life, all except for the back wheel. I haven't forgotten about that. And one day I'll get to that, when that's all I got to do. So, have a good Sunday, y'all, if you've watched any of this.